visionary, revolutionary. I'm a visionary, revolutionary.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the DMB podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Camilio Salamander, and I'm here with my stupendous co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit.
And today, we got week 14. We got the Raw after Mania, the SmackDown after Mania, the Breakout after Stand and Deliver, so forth and so forth, along with some wrestling news, such as the real reason why Gunther lost weight and a top NXT star will be a manager on the main roster. So those are some interesting stories. So if you interested in those, just stay tuned to the end. But we're going to kick this week off with Monday Night Raw. Now, Monday Night Raw had opened up with a promo from the Cody Rhodes. That basically, to sum it up, he's basically said that he is going for the WWE title, something that his father hasn't done. So, to sum up this promo, it came out, the promo, Cody already said the promo was 100% scripted, but it was still good. Still good. It did what it needed to do. One thing I like, but then kind of don't like, but could kind of backfire and bite WWE in the ass, and that's really if they hotshot Cody. I don't think they should right now. I would like to see Roman be double champion for at least a little while longer before they give that to us. And right now they could just be putting him in feuds, but he's winning. Meanwhile, you got Roman on SmackDown tearing shit up, he in God mode. And then meanwhile, since Cody debuted, be 4 or 5 months in, he ain't lost since. So then you get to the point like, dang, who will actually be the one to dethrone Roman? Then you got Cody. He's the one that's been on the tear and shit. That's just been the back pedal that really people ain't really be thinking about yet. But that's something I would like what they would do with Cody. But KB, what do you think about this opening promo for Raw?
S tier promo. I don't ever want to hear the geeks and the marks say that WWE can't do promos. You know what the problem is? Vince has been looking for this type of babyface. He had it when Bryan Danielson was there. We saw what that did. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had anybody like that for real since D-Bry. That blue-eyed, blonde-haired babyface that everybody loves, and he's got him back in Cody Rhodes. What I'm really proud about is the fact that WWE, they didn't fold. A lot of people would have said, well, you got Cody. He's huge. You kind of have to push him there. I agree with you, Salamander. I wouldn't have. First off, he wouldn't touch Roman until 2023. And in that match, I'm going to have him squash Roman. I would have Roman. The program for next year's WrestleMania is The Rock. We all know it. So we need to keep Roman hot for that. Meanwhile, put Cody in a couple feuds. Let him go a year with the United States Championship. Let him go destroy the mid card. You keep bringing people up from NXT. Cody keeps knocking them down, and you keep him hot as a babyface. Maybe once or twice if you want to bring up somebody like Harlan, who's with Joe Gacy, somebody really big who you can tell that story of Cody really having to dig deep. You do that. You throw those little tidbits in there. So then when Cody drops that United States Championship at WrestleMania, you already know what the next program is.
I wouldn't have had him drop it. I had him go in WrestleMania facing Roman as champion.
Well, in my scenario, I'm just
like four or 500 days as U.S. champion consistently. This thing, ain't nobody did no numbers since Lex Luger with the belt.
Yeah, but the program is The Rock and Roman.
No, I'm saying about how he would still be champion doing there. Going into this would be what, WrestleMania 40. Going into WrestleMania 40, the headline would be Cody and Roman.
You're trying to stretch it. Oh, you're trying to stretch it out. See, I was going to have Cody
go for a 500 something day reign with the U.S. belt. That would really build prestige. So then to get to the point where you can have him when he dethroned Roman at Mania and become champion, next night on Raw, He can do what like Keith Lee did when Keith Lee became NXT champion. He just basically vacated the United States.
See, I was
ain't nobody beat him for none of that. But then you can have set a tournament that make that tournament for the United States title more important, because the last person to hold this title besides Cody was damn near 2 years ago. So that belt is at its all high. It built as much prestige as it possibly can. Then whoever win the belt, hold it with honor. That's how you could do it on that one.
See, you trying to stretch it out to WrestleMania 40. I had Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns at that following SummerSlam.
Nah, I would stretch out to WrestleMania 40. Then after this would be what Roman he would tie Hulk Hogan at main event WrestleMania right here. So he would be tying Hulk Hogan. And then after this, Roman, you want to go to Hollywood, go ahead, do your thing for a few years. We'll see you back by WrestleMania 43.
I like it. I don't know. I mean, we've done so much work keeping them apart for this long. I feel like you kind of got to run it sooner or later.
I don't know. You could tell the story of basically he coming from the chase, but Roman, to Cody, it seemed like Roman is dodging him, is ducking him. But to Roman, he's occupied with talent that he feel like is worth his time. He feel like Cody's not on his level. He feel like Cody is not worth his time. Could do like that.
I could. I like that. How about Cody says, I honestly, if WWE wanted to try something new, they could do the angle to where Roman challenges Cody. But the way you write it, Cody would be like, it's not my time for you yet. To be honest, I don't think I got it. And just putting over the babyface, putting over the heel. Cody being like, I don't think I got it. I'm not going to lie to you. You've been holding that belt for going on 800 days. I'm not ready for you yet. But there will be a point in time to where I will get you. And you never revisit it. You won't revisit it until they actually link up and start the storyline.
I think that will work in AEW, because him saying that on W television will kind of make his character seem weak.
Is it weak, or is it just
admitting that you can't, you're gonna beat me? Then it's like, what's the point of you coming in for the match if you know you're gonna lose? I don't know.
You wouldn't. That's the point. You wouldn't do the match. You therefore negate the match, but you always keep it in the back of people's minds. When Cody would say, "There will be a point in time where I will get you," and then it'll probably be, let's just say Roman has an amazing. Let's just throw Gunther in there. Let's just say he comes off this amazing program with Gunther, where it was looking like he was about to lose. Gunther literally had him. He pulled it out. He pulled it out with the guillotine, choked Gunther out. Cody Rhodes strikes. He's not attacking him from behind, because in the back of your mind, you'll always remember Cody saying he did say when he was ready, he would get him. So yeah, at first that's what it'll look like, because you're right. It would look like that at first, but then once you get the payoff, you'll know, because Cody will have a new, he came in with the American Nightmare very confident. But do you remember when he was in his second TNT championship reign, just the swagger he had? The TNT title was mid-card, but he didn't make it feel mid-card. He hasn't hit that level of arrogance yet. But when he attacks Roman, that's when you'll know. You'll get it. Because prime example, you knew Batista was beating Triple H. You knew it. Mm-hmm. It would be that story.
I don't know. That story don't work for everybody though.
It doesn't, but Cody got over a completely scripted promo, and you could have told me and sold me up the river and said it was unscripted.
I don't know.
I think Cody can do it. I mean, you got Cody and Roman, the best heel in the game, and possibly top 5. I think Cody Rhodes is a top 5 babyface in the wrestling game.
Possibly tell the story of basically when Cody become his challenger, Cody's so, you know, egotistical. He they in the ring. They got security in the ring. Because the Usos is in the ring with Roman, of course. So the security is in the ring, split in the middle, and then they cutting their promos in between the security. But the whole time, Roman cut a promo, the whole bloodline and Paul Heyman, they looking at Cody. Cody is looking at the hard camera and stuff, but he just not even looking at Roman or the bloodline at all. And then he's like, the whole time they going back and forth, but you see Roman's getting pissed off as it continues because he's taking it as disrespect, as you not, looking at him. And then at the end of the promo, Cody turned his back on him and finished his promo, and then Roman tried to attack. Tell a story like that, like, it's just like, basically, the storyline could be more of a, okay, you say your family runs this place, well, I have a bigger argument that my family has a bigger history than yours too. So it's gonna be basically the battle of the families.
See, I like that. I feel like somehow, some way, combine both of the ideas, and you might have a top 5 storyline of all time with Cody and Roman.
This could be the best storyline. If they could slowly build this shit up, even if they won't give it to us till 2023, they could slowly be building this shit up now. Why they trying to tell the Roman and Rock story, since that's the next time, that's the next thing they're heading towards. That's a whole year from now. So while you building up towards that story, you could also be telling this story in the back, so that way when we visit this and it's official that this match is what we getting, you can circle back around like, yeah, you remember almost 2 years ago, this and this and this and this and this, yeah. So they can long-term story book this damn feud for real.
I just got the craziest idea.
What's that?
They're gonna fuck us over, and they're gonna have Cody Rhodes win Money in the Bank.
I don't want that though. Because if I'm gonna get a Cody match and Roman, I want a fucking one-on-one, fair one-on-one. That's what I want. I don't want like no sneak in. But then you could tell like that, like how Braun should have did it instead of the way they did. Like, have him come out, challenge him, get him a date. Like, I'm gonna cash this in at SummerSlam. So be ready for me. And then that's the hype of the summer. Some shit like that. They could do like that or whatever.
All I'm gonna say is this, and then we can move on. We shouldn't see anything Cody and Roman related until 2023.
I also agree. 100%. But moving on to the next, we got Sasha Banks and Naomi. They will defeat Live for Brutality. Well, the ending had happened where they had hit Morgan with a face buster into Sasha Banks' knees. I kind of like this finisher that Sasha and Naomi has. It's a great way to combine both finishers. Instead of Sasha doing the backstab into the bank statement, is the front. So it's like a face buster to the code breaker. I like it.
Or we could just do a rear view into the bank statement.
I mean, that's predictable though, but creative wise, this is sweet. I like it. For something that you could do with both of their finishers, that is something that you would have thought about. So, but I never liked that move anyway. From
the rear view?
Yeah, for Naomi. I feel like it don't do enough, especially if we trying to get back into her being into the title picture. I feel like a change that was needed, and her doing the face buster, I feel like fixed better than the rear view. It'd be cool if she bring it out every now and then, but I don't think that should be the finish or her finisher. It should be a lead up to her finisher. She could do the rear view, and then they bounce on the floor, get up, and then that's what leads into the face buster or some shit.
I've always thought that Naomi was just a submission move away. Some type of devastating submission move away from having the complete package. Because she literally does everything else, but I don't see the submission game.
Yeah.
I don't see the submission game. And I feel like she could have a nice, devastating type of submission. I don't know which one. I could honestly like see her locking in a dragon sleeper.
It should be something with her legs.
Some with her legs.
Like a submission like that.
The Rings of Saturn?
Could be. Or just a triangle choke. Just from the front instead of the side.
I mean, she needs something submission.
They could call it like the glow choke. Some shit like that.
I had to see it. But I do want her to get some type of submission.
But would she do the Boston Crab?
No.
But with the knee in the back.
The Lion Tamer?
Yeah, with the knee.
I mean, if she's gonna lock in a Lion Tamer, I'll go for that.
Yeah, that'd be devastating. But after the match, Liv Morgan, she apologized to Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley had walked out. So it seemed like they was gonna break up for a little few. But later in the show, Rhea Ripley, she had told Morgan that she convinced the WWE officials to give them a title shot next week, despite the loss. And the two, they would share a hug. But I say fuck all that shit. That don't make no sense. Y'all challenged the champions. Wasn't for the belt, but y'all challenged them. Y'all lost. How the fuck next week y'all the number one contenders? Like, what about the teams that didn't fight at WrestleMania and shit like that? What about them? How are y'all? That don't make sense. It's like, come on. What's up with like the WWE? They don't go by statistics. They don't. I don't know. WWE just don't go by logical order. It seemed like.
Listen, they lost a championship contenders match, so why are they getting a women's tag team title match? You're doing all of this to set up one angle to where she destroys Liv Morgan.
Yes, and why would you book them in a championship contenders match against the champions? Won't you think it would be like, all right, so since y'all three teams is the ones to challenge them, two teams is on Raw, the other team is on SmackDown, so how about y'all two teams is on Raw, which would be Carmella and no, that's SmackDown, right? No, that's Raw. Pat McAfee's on SmackDown. So Carmella and Queen Zelina versus Liv for Brutality, and then whoever wins will get a title shot next week. That's how you should have did it. Why would you have them go up against the champions so the champions lose and they already making the titles look weak, because it make it seem like y'all just got over by being lucky at Mania.
It's a championship contenders match, so they automatically have to go against the champions.
That don't make sense. You should go after, it should be number one seed and number 2 seed for real.
This company doesn't make sense.
It don't.
It don't.
Just like this shit that don't make sense. Elias returning as Ezekiel.
No, that is Ezekiel. That is not Elias. That is Elias's brother.
I don't know. Whatever. It don't make sense.
What do you mean? That's clearly a different person. Then listen. Weren't we just talking off camera just the other day when we said if you're gonna do a name change, then the whole gimmick gotta change? There you go. Gimmick change.
But they trying to play it as that's his little brother. No, they are really trying to play us like we are kids. Like, I think I understand that they PG and they aiming for a kid audience, but I think WWE needs to still realize that you still got adults that's watching y'all as well. We don't want to see this kid stuff. That is like we supposed to believe fucking Superman. He fucking flying around with no fucking mask on, none of that stuff, but he put on fucking glasses. You supposed to say, oh, you somebody else. No, it don't make sense. He cut his beard and now he's a different person. That's the only difference. Like, he didn't change nothing else about him. Cut his beard, cut his hair a little bit. That ain't nothing changed about him. He still looked the same. It don't make no sense. That's like Roman Reigns cutting his hair. No, it's Jimmy, right? That cut his hair. Right? Yeah. That's like him coming back and saying that he's not Jimmy no more. He's Uno. He's Uno Uso. And we supposed to believe it just because he cut his hair. Like, that don't make sense. It's stupid, whatever. But the way he looked, I will say he do look phenomenal though. But the way he looked, he will be a star in the 80s. And the same way that Kevin Owens felt, the same way I felt watching this shit. How he just laughed and just walked out. Like, this goofy shit.
First off, Kevin Owens punked himself because the last time I checked, if I count down all the way from however many he count down, what was it, 5? If I count down from 5 and you still in my ring, and I'm supposed to knock you the fuck out.
Yeah,
but I just leave. I just punked myself. It's not goofy. This is Elias's brother.
Then what they supposed to do if Elias want to come back? They're gonna put a fake beard on him and tell him to go out there and do what you used to do. Nah. And then it's gonna get to a point where we want both of them on TV. We're gonna get a cinematic match that they're gonna use CGI to make him be there at the same time. It's goofy.
I'm telling you,
this is by far, I say, like, even a match with the tag match, even though that shit didn't make sense how they got a title shot, the match was still good. But by far, this is the dumbest shit. But not the dumbest shit. It's one of two of the dumbest shit that happened on Monday Night Raw. I would say
a lot more dumb shit happened, and we about to get into the thick of it.
Right after this, we got The Miz. He would defeat Dominic Mysterio via pinfall with a skull crusher finale. Now, the match was very, very quick, but it led to the debut of Veer Mahan. Right after 6 months. I mean, he came in ready. Yeah, after 6 months of hype up, you better be ready. But I ain't gonna lie, he look good. I ain't gonna lie, he do. But shit, like I said, after 6 months of hype, your ass better be ready. Once we say, hey, it's your signal, your ass better be ready. But he basically went in there and destroyed the Mysterios, and I mean, I just want to see how they gonna book him in the future. I'm wondering if he's booked for next week. Cause knowing WWE, they debut somebody now, we probably won't see them again for like another couple weeks.
No, he's got a match against Ray.
Okay, that's a good thing then. But just like Mansoor, we see him every now and then when they get ready to go back to Saudi. They about to go back to Saudi in the next by Halloween, November. That's around like August, September. Or I'll say around September. That's when we gonna start seeing Mansoor on TV again. Watch.
You're nicer than me. I was gonna shit on this because he still looks like Veer Mahan. He didn't do anything new. He still looked like he still looks like he should be with Jinder and Shanky.
That's true, but you could kind of tell, like, you could say out of that group, that was like, he was the one that they kind of want to push. I'm still just, I mean, he's still the same person. He just ain't with Jinder no more. But you could really tell that's the one that they really want. But I mean, he could still be himself, and they just separated him from, the jobbers, basically. I mean, that's basically what Jinder Mahal group is, just a group full of jobbers. Maybe the leader of the group get a win here and there, but the rest of y'all is jobbers. That's really what it was. And they was like, you know what? We see something in you. We don't want you going down that route, so this is what we have for you.
Veer Mahan can't cut a promo. So what the fuck is he gonna do?
That's when you put him with somebody. Put him with like an Arian Daivari. He was backstage working, I believe, SmackDown as a producer this week. But put him with somebody like that, Arian Daivari. Put him with Veer Mahan as his mouthpiece.
You know who I think I know who they gonna put him with, and it's gonna be a disaster.
Who? As
great as he is, he still won't get over Veer Mahan. As great as he is.
Who?
I'm thinking if I've been hearing the reports, they got one guy, one man.
No. Wait. I think we're gonna wait. I think that's in the news. I think I know what you're gonna say. We're gonna wait. Moving on to the next one, we got Bianca Belair. She celebrated her win. Ooh, see, you got me throwing me off, man. But Bianca Belair, she will celebrate her win at WrestleMania. Now, Bianca, she showed her eye. She showed her eye during this promo. And she also said that she was ready to defend against anyone and that she back on top. I totally agree with her. But I would honestly say that black eye is well worth it. If you want to be champion, you're gonna have wounds, and those wounds, those is fighting wounds right there, and it's worth it. I'm glad that she didn't stay home. She showed them wounds off, and she's still ready to go. Black eye or not, it don't stop shit. She the EST of WWE.
I'm not giving Bianca Belair any more credit than what she already deserves. This was a
need all the credit.
No,
Bianca's up there with Jade Cargill.
No, not even close. Bianca Belair deserves a lot of credit. She put on one of the best matches on the weekend. She cut an amazing promo, and that eye is definitely worth it. WWE messed up huge with this. You had a chance to draw some interest. Yes, Bianca Belair gets her moment. We should have heard a returning Asuka or a returning Bayley.
I don't know, not that. I'll say let her have her moment, because you think about the story she got. She became champion. She gave Becky the benefit of the doubt. She got squashed. She was chasing the belt the whole time. She finally got it, won it. Let her celebrate.
How many moments is she gonna get?
She the EST of WWE. She need all of them.
No, she doesn't. And yes, she is the quickest, the fastest, the strongest, the smartest. Yes, all of that. But I'm not here to watch somebody celebrate just because it's the Raw after Mania. Guess what?
No, that's the brilliant of WWE. When we get the celebration of the championship. But usually it always ends with an interruption, though. I'm glad this one did. She needed her moment. She had 2 moments back to back, at 2 WrestleMania moments back to back. Winning championships. I don't think that ain't been done in a while. But it was good.
Should have been a returning Bayley, should have been a returning Asuka. Very big moment missed. And you know why? Because when Britt Baker, before she got into her Thunder Rosa program, and they were in Cleveland, and they were like, nobody came out. This would have been a good time to set something up.
They wanted to give her moment. She
had her moment last year. She can't continue to get these moments.
You don't want to give up all your surprises for the rest of the year in one show. Because think about they had a Bayley or a Asuka returning, plus all the shit that did happen on the show. You don't want to give it all. You probably still got something planned for Bayley. Will Bayley come back? And even though she was drafted to Raw, will Bayley come back and they end up placing her on SmackDown? You know, she been gone for so long, people probably forgot she on Raw. Put her on SmackDown, have her work a program with Ronda, since we already know that's in the news too. But since, you know, whoever gonna be the next champion, have her work a program with the next SmackDown Women's Champion, or put Asuka in that place, have her work the program with the next one. You don't want to build it all now, because just think about this: Ronda wins, she on SmackDown talking about, you know, her win against Charlotte and shit. And then you hear Asuka music. We ain't never seen a showdown between Asuka and Ronda. That would kind of low key be good. I think so. It's gonna be hard hitting. You shit, you know, Asuka should come from over there in Japan and shit, so they do that strong style shit. And so I think that's somebody that can actually match up. Versus, I know that why they keep giving us Charlotte and Ronda, because it's a moneymaker, but they don't have the chemistry in the ring because they always be fucking up. It's too many botches that happen in the match. But I think something like this would be real physical, hard hitting, something that's in Ronda's background. I think that would actually be a good matchup between the two. A good first feud for her to have the championship. You could extend that shit too. You can extend it to SummerSlam. For real. And just keep having like both look strong, and then, you know, they both got submission moves, so also she sending messages, so you can have her going to tear, and every match she in, she don't win by pinfall, she win by submission. And then you could just have that be Ronda's specialty. She's a specialist in submission matches, and then every time she defends her belt, her title, it's to her advantage, so it's always a submission match every defense. and you match her up with good technical wrestlers, technical submissioners. That's how you do it.
No, none of that. None of that to give your girl her moment. She had her moment last year when she beat Sasha Banks. I should have heard. We should have seen a returning Bayley or a returning Asuka so we can jumpstart this program. WrestleMania Backlash is right around the corner. We don't need a 2-week build. We need a full month's build.
I don't know.
Listen, you got your redemption story. So guess what? Now it's the story of you defending this title. You're not a heel. She's a face. She's a baby face.
Unless that's what they're turning.
They don't want to turn her heel. They'll lose too much money.
I don't know. They might gain. Like, they thought they would lose so much money with Roman. They turn heel. It turns out that's the best decision they could ever make.
Yeah, but Roman really wasn't for the kids for real.
Yeah, because you got your certain characters that please the kids. John Cena in the Ruthless Aggression era, he appealed to both. Then when they started going PG, he started switching his shit. We started wearing the colorful shirts and shit like that. You know, he was appealing to kids. You know, the only people that was booing John Cena was adults. The kids wasn't booing. So you have your ones like Bayley, she's appealed to kids. But now, of course, but even then, when she's as a heel, that ding dong hello, that's appealing to kids. You have your certain stars that's appealing to kids. You have your certain stars that you know will never get over in the kid thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, WWE need to realize, yes, I know y'all PG, y'all appealing to kids, and y'all main market is kids. But I have to realize that majority of your audience is the adults. Especially when fucking Raw hit that at 10 o'clock, kids asleep. They got school tomorrow. So the people who continue getting y'all views is us, adults. So that's, if you gonna make that first hour that kid shit. And then them kids in bed, the second, third hour, make that appealing to adults. So that way we feel like we are entertained. Cause we, as of right now, with some of this shit, we feel like we are being ignored. And that's why you get motherfuckers to go to AEW, because AEW, we get shit that we saw 15 years ago that we like. That's what we like. We want to see that shit. Bring that shit back. If not, we gonna go to where we see that shit at, and we see it over there.
All I'm saying is, Bianca Belair is for the kids. They'll lose too much money turning her heel.
But following this, we got the NXT Championship match. We got Braun Breaker. He defeated Dolph Ziggler via pinfall to win the title.
What the fuck is this?
With a military press power slam.
What the
Plus
fuck is
defeating interference from Robert Roode. But yes, what the fuck is this? This shit is stupid as fuck. Stand and Deliver was literally 2 days before this. Why the fuck y'all didn't have him win the title at Stand and Deliver? But I guess WWE was thinking, well, maybe people won't watch Stand and Deliver, so let's go ahead and have him lose at Stand and Deliver and have him have a televised win at on Raw, so that we could possibly bring people to watch NXT tomorrow. I guess that's what they was thinking. I don't know. It don't make sense. I would really say that Elias shit in this NXT championship is the dumbest shit that happened on the show. It's fucking stupid. I don't really give a fuck about it. It don't make sense. Why book, like, now, as we reported before, that Raw, with WWE was planning on having Raw stars on NXT, having NXT stars on Raw. I don't want that shit no more. Keep y'all motherfucking ass on NXT. Only come on Raw when y'all motherfuckers get called up. Raw stars, if you gonna go on NXT, stay there or whatever. Don't fucking do that. No, cause y'all fucked up on this one. Y'all lost me on here. This shit is stupid as fuck. It don't make sense. What the fuck?
Didn't make sense at all. If you wanted to do a fucking title change, do the title change on NXT or do the title change at Stand and Deliver.
That's where it makes sense. Literally.
Don't give him the win just because it's the Raw after Mania and you think that's gonna put eyes on NXT. Nobody was cheering for him. Nobody
Yeah.
cheered.
I guarantee if you watch the playback, WWE and insert the crowd noises. I guarantee it, because that's the reaction they wanted him to have. And we didn't react there because we don't know Buddy.
Don't know who the fuck he is.
He on NXT, we don't know him. And he just started not that long ago. Y'all giving him this mega ass push. It'd be different, I'm gonna keep saying it'd be different if y'all came in and his name is Braun Steiner or some shit, and y'all booking him like that. Then maybe he would have got a good reaction. But we don't know Buddy. He'll get that good reaction on NXT, but we don't know him. Who's Dolph fighting? That's what that was like. Who's him? That's what it was like.
Braun Breaker to Raw ain't the same as Dolph Ziggler to NXT, and they thought it was, and it is not.
Yeah.
There was no need for, and this doesn't even add prestige to the NXT championship. To me, it kind of like downgrades it.
Yeah, because it just flops. Like, what was the point? What was the reason? Wasn't no reason.
I want to know what went through y'all head that even allowed you to think that this was remotely okay.
They got people who don't even watch wrestling.
But you know what?
That's writing the shows. I guarantee it.
You know what though? I'm glad they had continuity when it comes to NXT, because the same shit that we talking now, we're gonna end up saying the same shit in about 20 minutes.
Yes, most definitely. One thing that was kind of interesting with me that I'm really not mad about, but MVP, he turned on Bobby Lashley by attacking him from behind as Lashley was confronted by Omos. Now, Omos basically came out and said he wanted a rematch with Bobby Lashley, and this happened. MVP, he was basically upset with Lashley because he said that he didn't need him to beat Omos at WrestleMania, and then MVP and Omos continue to beat down Lashley. Now, my question is, so he's the Almighty. Who do the name The Hurt Business belongs to? Do it belong to Bobby Lashley or do it belong to MVP? And then when MVP aligning himself up with Omos, it makes me think, is that the reason why they allowed Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander to continue to use the name, because they are going to circle back around and just basically replace Bobby Lashley with Omos, and the group is ran by MVP and shit, and then that's why we get the babyface run with Bobby Lashley and shit like that. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, they probably will go that way. That's what I'm thinking.
This was good shit.
Yeah,
this was good television. I wasn't mad at it either. This was great fucking television. There wasn't really anything bad about it, and it wasn't like knock it out the park good. It just really got you intrigued on what's going to happen next.
Right. But after this, it was something very predictable that I seen it happening from ever since the build up of WrestleMania. But Queen Zelina, she attacked Carmella after blaming Carmella for their team losing the women's tag titles at WrestleMania. Now, like I said, I pretty much knew this was gonna happen. They be building this shit up for a while. Ever since the build up of WrestleMania, they be kind of telling the story of basically Carmella her attention being occupied somewhere else than what they really needed her attention to be at. But I mean, it's gonna lead to a mediocre match anyway. But that's pretty much it.
Did his job. Yeah, those two had to go away for a little bit.
Yeah.
So did his job.
Right after this, we got Austin Theory and the Usos. They will defeat RK Bro and Finn Balor via pinfall, but Austin Theory will hit Finn Balor with the ATL. Now this match, I liked it. I honestly think this one should have been the main event, but it was cool. I liked it.
Austin Theory, they're really about to push him to the moon.
I ain't gonna lie. First, I wasn't feeling it, but he's a future star, bro.
I've been telling you this.
Vince, he did, like, I do agree with what you said. Vince, if he align himself up and with somebody on television, he sees something in you, and you got the thing that he's looking for. And Austin Theory got that. Like, you know, he had the bullshit that he had. You know, he was on NXT, he was doing his thing on NXT, got caught up, got lined up with Seth, went back down to NXT, he was there with Johnny Gargano with the way, they called him back up, doing some bullshit, then they started giving him a little push. And then I really think his breakout moment was the Elimination Chamber. After that, he just been getting pushes and pushes. Then Mania, him lining himself up with the Boss, helping the Boss pick up a win at Mania, and now picking a win. I think he gonna go on a win streak for like a few months before he even get that title picture. But I don't even think a win streak for a few months. I think that's what they gonna lead into. WrestleMania Backlash is gonna be Finn Balor versus Austin Theory for the United States title. They're gonna put the belt on Austin Theory. That's what they're gonna do. They just probably needed somebody well enough to put that for Austin Theory to take the belt off of. You ain't gonna put Austin Theory up against Damian Priest, and you ain't gonna kind of get a good matchup out of that. But Austin Theory, Finn Balor, two high flyers. Yeah, you'll get a good match out of that shit.
I've been preaching Austin Theory since he was down there with Gargano's in the way.
Yeah, you have.
Austin Theory's. I'm not gonna hold you. Austin Theory's goated. I don't know what it is about Austin Theory because he's not anything spectacular, but he does everything well. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's better to be like that. Sometimes it's better to be all well-rounded than to be a guy who can talk on the mic but not really go in the ring, or vice versa. Sometimes It's just better to be well-rounded, and that's Austin Theory. He's a good hand,
right?
And sometimes being a good hand goes a long way.
Hell yeah. Following this, we got Edge and Damian Priest. They explained their new alliance. Now, Damian Priest, he will say that Edge's recent promos felt like Edge was speaking to him. AJ Styles, he had ran to the ring and attacked Damian Priest, but he was eventually taken out by the duo because he was outnumbered. Now, I like this promo, man. Like, we've been teasing Damian Priest with this Damian and then this Priest side. I ain't really get it. Now I'm starting to click with it, because then at the same time, like, you teasing this shit, it's like long-term story booking. So it's like Damian Priest, he was Damian the good side, right? Or Priest is the good side?
Priest is the good side.
Okay, so now he was wrestling, you know, he was Priest and shit like that. And then he would dip in to his evil side, which is the Damian side. Then meanwhile, you know, we got Edge also, like, you know, he'll be the ultimate opportunist and shit like that, right? And then when it's a few that he up against, like Edge or The Miz, and he need to dip into that dark side, we saw him dip into that dark side a few times. Now we see him convert all the way to that dark side as well. At the same time, we had got the conversion of Damian Priest converting all the way down out to that dark side as well, when he had lost his United States title and he had attacked Finn Balor. So now, of course, you know, then with the promos that Edge was cutting and him already being on that dark side, it made him follow. So Edge is gonna be I think Edge is gonna form his own brood, and he's gonna have his followers basically. And the first follower is Damian Priest. That they could lead into this, right? Like you said, Rhea Ripley, she got them a tag team title match next week. They're gonna lose. Rhea Ripley, she gonna freak the fuck out, attack her, beat her ass. Maybe later on that show or the next week, Edge cut on promo some shit and she come out, debut the same way that Damian Priest did. But we did report on that too, that they looking for a female to be a part of the group, and they got their eyes on Rhea Ripley. But this is probably them turning her heel and her dipping into her dark side too. And like, just with these promos that Edge is cutting, it's like triggering people. If you got that dark entity in you, it'll trigger you, and then shortly you'll be one of his followers. It's like a cult. That's what I see this as. Like, it's like the Brood meets the the ministry. That's kind of like what I see this as.
I know people want Rhea Ripley, but I think Shotzi would make a better fit.
Why not both? Why not have pair both of them up and have them tear ass in the tag team women's division? That way you officially have an official tag team that's a part of the group. Why not? Why not have Edge be the main leader? He go for the world title. Hey, Damian Priest be the singles star, and he'll go for the singles title. And then we line ourselves up. We have another tag that will go for the men's tag title. Have a woman that will go for the women's title, and then we got the women's tag. Why not have a big ass stable that go for it? That we have a person for each division that's going to leave that mark and going to tear havoc. And then sooner or later you can tell a story with this whole Dark Brood or whatever Edge is going to call it. They all hold the titles of WWE, at least on one show.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Makes you think. But moving on to the main event, we got the Street Profits. They would defeat Alpha Academy via pinfall in a Texas Tornado tag team match. Now the finish that came with Montez Ford had put Chad Gable through a table with a frog splash. Now, it's the tag match, basically the two people who was on Mania who lost against RK Bro. They went up head to head. They stood in Dallas, so let's put on a traditional match, which is the Texas Tornado tag team match. It did a job, but I would honestly prefer if you had to end it with a tag match. I would honestly prefer the Austin Theory, the Usos versus RK Bro and Finn Balor match for the main event. Or fuck it, it could have gave this match, gave us two tag matches back to back and ended it off with the Edge promo shit and it Raw like that. But it did what it needed to do. What do you think about that?
It did exactly what it needed to do. Got over the right team.
Okay. But you as a whole, the show as a whole, it did very good. It was tons of energy and momentum from start to finish. That being said, no one segment has stood out as defining the episode, but Rose promo, it did what it needed to do. It set Roman and Rose up into motion of of them two being the biggest stars coming out of WrestleMania of the company. That's what this show did what it needed to do. Raw after Mania, it gets an 8 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
What?
The NXT Championship match, the predictability of Queen Zelina and Carmella, the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan somehow getting a title match after losing their championship contenders, and the fact that we didn't do anything with Bianca Belair. Yeah, 6.5. It's the Raw after Mania. It's supposed to be the craziest show of the year.
Despite all of that, the matches was good. It just the aftermath didn't make sense. But you could tell the momentum. Just think about how hype everything was. We ain't been this hype since the Raw after Mania for some years. That's what made this show good.
I'm sorry. See, I'm gonna have to still stick with that 6.5.
All right, touche. I tried.
Moving on. You know what was worse than a 6.5?
What's that?
NXT 2.0.
Yes. This was the by far worst show of the week, I would say.
Yes. It's not even a question. We had the Creed brothers versus Imperium. Creed brothers got the win. Dexter Lumis versus Duke Hudson. This ended in a double count out because both Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta were trying to help their men get in the ring. Goofy soap opera shit that I'm just not feeling.
I thought, what's wrong with love? Was it you saying ain't nothing wrong with love? Now you get what I mean. I don't want to see this soap opera shit on TV when I'm trying to watch wrestling, because then you're going to have to intertwine the two and then we get bullshit like this.
But we don't get BS shenanigans with the 24/7 shit like this. The love happens after the match, not during the match.
Hey, yeah, just wait till somebody get boring. Man, we be doing this for weeks. Let's have Tamina kiss Akira Tozawa in the middle of the match. to distract them, and then that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna do some bullshit. I ain't even like what Daniel Bryan did that shit to AJ Lee, and he lost like in 8 seconds. I ain't even like that shit. I hate the soap opera shit. Like, for one, if you my girl and you know how important this match is, realistically, you wouldn't distract me. You wouldn't do that bullshit. It's not realistic. It's soap opera shit. You can tell they got TV writers writing for a wrestling show that don't know nothing about the business.
Fair enough. Some more bullshit. NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are on the line. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. Toxic Attraction got the win. Just like we discussed in Monday Night Raw review, what the fuck was the point of taking it off Toxic Attraction if you were just going to put it back on Toxic Attraction?
Ain't no point. And then let's fast forward just a little bit later. What's the point of having Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez tag together if you just gonna call up Raquel? Makes 0 sense. Then call her Raquel Gonzalez today. 3 days later, call her Raquel Martinez.
Rodriguez.
Well, they wanted to go more Hispanic. They felt like her original name wasn't Hispanic enough, so let's change it to Rodriguez. They should have did Martinez, but they shouldn't have did it. What was it? Her name was fine the way it is.
I don't know. We then had Nikita Lyons versus Lash Legend. Nikita Lyons got the win.
Of course, we see why WWE signed her, and that's it. She's gonna keep doing that shit every week after week after week.
She's not good.
She's not.
Neither of them are good, if I'm being honest.
Like I said, we said this last week. I'll say it week after week after week. NXT should be you learning how to work the fucking crowd and work the cameras. We shouldn't know that you are really green in the ring. Once you on television, you should already know. You should already know how to fucking put on the match. The only thing you learning is how to interact with the crowd at the appropriate times and how to work the cameras. That's all you need to learn how to be doing. WWE made a mistake by taking this shit off the WWE Network and putting this shit on TV. They are not ready for TV, my dog. If y'all wanted a third brand, y'all should have just bought in a third brand. Y'all shouldn't even keep NXT as being development. Y'all done gave the spotlight on NXT. Now we seeing new stars, but we also seeing the fuck up at the same time. And I don't like that. You feel me? Y'all are considered professional wrestlers. So once you make it to WWE, I feel like you should already have, fuck ups should be bare minimum. That's what I feel like. Yeah, it shouldn't be noticeable because then it make you feel like anybody can just sign the WWE. Like, you think WWE would be the landscape and this will be like the be all of all. Like, shit, if you don't make it here, you might not even make it. Like, you might as well kiss WWE. I mean, your wrestling career goodbye type shit. So you think, like, but they putting on like people who literally got signed 2 weeks ago and they already on TV. Never step foot into a ring or none of that stuff. It don't make sense. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying people got signed is bad or nothing. I'm just saying, like, had them in the performance center before you had them on TV. When they are on TV, they should be learning how to work the cameras and work in front of the crowd, because this is technically kind of be their first time wrestling in front of a live crowd. So they should be learning how to interact with the crowd and interact with the cameras. That's it. What we learned seeing in the ring, it should be clean. You already be doing this shit, so you should know how to sell, how to wrestle, how to call moves, secretly without, being noticed and shit like that, performing them well, all that shit. You should already know that for coming out of the performance center. That's what I believe. It's a performance center for a reason. You should have classes. All right, this year class, how they be sending the picture out. This year class of the performance center, boom, boom, boom. All right, boom. And then we see, it could be like 12 people. Out of them 12 people, we see 4 debut on NXT. That means they graduated. So they ready for the next step. We ain't see the other people. That means they still in the performance center learning how to wrestle, all that shit. So once you graduate to the next step, which is NXT, you learn to work the cameras, the crowd, all that shit. Then you get caught up on the main roster. You should already know how to do all that shit. You should know how to wrestle, sell, all that shit, work the cameras, work the crowd, all that shit. And then you just combine them all together, just becoming a sports entertainer. Once you on Raw and SmackDown. I don't know. I think I'm looking too much into it.
I don't think you're looking into it enough, because that's exactly how it should be. I shouldn't see if people shit on AEW for talking about as many botches as they see on AEW. I see just as many on NXT, and this is coming from the number one wrestling company in the world. Even on NXT, you should look like a sports entertainer. You shouldn't look like a WWE trainee. If I see
it looks like you learning the job on the spot. Like somebody come in and be like, "Hey, do you know where this is at?" And you like, "Oh, today my first day. I'm sorry, I don't know." That's what it seemed like they are in the ring doing. Today my first day. Oh shit. Oh, you said body slap? All right. I don't know. It's like they be waiting for the spots. Like, girl, you supposed to kick me right here. Like, I don't know. It's like they I don't know. NXT, I see NXT, especially with the newcomers, it seems like it's a huge spot fest. Like, they just rely on the spots that they remembered. They had 3 spots in the match. This is a spot, this is a spot, this is a spot. And they don't know what to do in between those. Because it's very boring. Only thing the key alliance know what to do is the finish. She know what WWE likes to see.
Yeah, and Lash Legend can, like, I feel like Lash Legend has the personality, like, and that, like, I don't think Nikita has anything. I don't think she definitely has the look they want, but she doesn't have the personality. She comes off very bland, and in the ring, she definitely don't know what she's doing. And when I look at Lash Legend, I'm like, you're pretty much there. You just need the in-ring. You need ring reps. So once you get that, you're gonna be good.
Nikita Lyons is like salt and pepper on a burger or on some chicken. Like you said, very bland. She like the creator wrestler 3. She got the creative generic superstar 4 look. She got the look, like you said. She got the look that WWE wanted. It was like they created the wrestler that they want, but they forgot to give her personality.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, because it's like, why do I like you? Why you're not giving me?
You know why? Like you know why WWE is making you like her. That's the whole point. They don't even care about her that she can't talk or nothing. This is the reason why we want you to watch NXT, because she gonna be on here. That's the reason. Just like we used to look forward to Monday Night Raw. Why? Because it could be a bikini mug fight. All that shit that they used to do. They bring that shit back into NXT. We ain't gonna see it on the main roster, but they gonna make NXT how, like, especially their women's division, how WWE was back then, and it's stupid.
I just find it incredibly disheartening that they're giving us awesome characters like Solo Sikoa and Tony D'Angelo, but then you look straight to the left or right to the left, and you look at that women's division, and you're like, you're not giving me the same excitement of a Cameron Grimes, of a Solo Sikoa, of a Tony D'Angelo with this women's division. Like, the closest thing to that would be Toxic Attraction.
Right.
Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, your main eventers, but what about that women's mid-card division? Make me like them.
Right.
But main event NXT Championship is on the line. Braun Breaker versus Gunther. Braun Breaker got the win. NXT 2.0, I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. It was like the weakest, horrible show. Like the weakest show of the week, I said.
Yeah, wasn't even a question. AEW Dynamite. This was a good show.
It was. It was a good show, but it had its flaws.
It
But
did have its flaws.
we gonna get into it.
It did have its flaws. Starting off with what I didn't think was a flaw: Adam Cole versus Christian Cage. Adam Cole got the win. I thought this was a fantastic Dynamite opener. It's funny I said this just like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like typically when Dynamite starts off, if they start off with a match, it's typically going to turn out to be a hot show.
Right.
And this was a hot way to start.
You know, I'm not a fan of spit. You spit at me, I'm fighting for real. But I mean, the match, it did what it needed to do. It was good. I'm not gonna lie, but I like the aftermath where Heyman basically challenged him next Friday on Rampage in the Texas Death Match. So you can tell, like you reported, Tony Khan is trying to bring his ruthless shit back. So they're trying to make it every week, every show. They're gonna top it off. That's good. And he basically told him, "Hey, get your affairs in order. I'm about to beat your ass."
That's such a, when you sit there and think about it in casual conversation, that's a real serious line to tell somebody. Like if you about to really beat somebody's ass and you tell them like you might want to get your affairs in order, that kind of puts that thought in the back of your mind, like, damn, am I not coming back?
Yeah, like he about to fuck you up.
We had the Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor video package showing Samoa Joe's return, which then led into the Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match, Samoa Joe versus Platinum Max Caster. Everyone loves the Acclaim.
Can I just say, when we beat them in the ratings, he was their champ. He tried his best to get Samoa Joe to break character, though. I will say that. That shit was funny. He tried his best. But, hey, he had some bars, though.
Now, he had some bars, and he got his ass beat, and Samoa Joe whipping out the shmoney dance.
Yeah. It was a glorified squash match. But it was a strong introduction. Dominant force by Samoa Joe. Like I said, a glorified squash match. But everyone loves the Acclaim. It don't matter if he be losing for like the last couple of weeks. I'm just glad he's on Dynamite, man.
Everybody loves the Acclaim. Samoa Joe winning with the Muscle Buster,
bringing it back out.
I mean, now he's finally with a company where he can do it.
Yeah, that was the last time you seen him with what he did. He brought it out a couple times after the Tyson Kidd shit.
We then had a Jay Lethal Sanjay Dutt post-match promo. Basically, they were going to give they're going to roll out the red carpet for Samoa Joe and bring him a gift from Jay Lethal, his favorite student. And I can't wait for next week.
It's going to lead into him challenging Jay Lethal. Or, like I said, it's still that up in the air. Jay Lethal could possibly join the stable with the Blackpool Combat Club. It's a chance that he could still join them, and if he joined them, he gonna bring out the red carpet for Samoa Joe just to walk right on through into being a member.
I think
Samoa Joe, just think about that. They could have the story of Samoa Joe's making an impact now, right? Boom, mega impact. He challenged, he faced. It become the Ring of Honor champion. Ring of Honor television champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he become the Ring of Honor television champion. And then basically with Samoa Joe just coming in already within his first 2 weeks in the company, already having a title, getting all these pushes, Samoa Joe gonna have a hell of a target on his back. He gonna need protection. Who else to protect him? His friend, his mentor, Jay Lethal. Hey, follow me. Introduce him to the Blackpool Combat Club. He's a member. They his muscle. While he skyrocket his way in Ring of Honor.
I think Jay Lethal is going to screw Samoa Joe this upcoming Wednesday against Minoru Suzuki, because Tony Khan doesn't really do hot potato with a title. And I don't see Minoru Suzuki losing.
But I did bring this up. I don't remember if we was recording at the time or not. But Ring of Honor, they gonna fuck around and come. They coming on TV, but I don't think it's gonna be this soon. I think it's gonna be by the winter time, by fall going into winter, where they would make their televised debut on a major programming. Might I add? I think Tony Khan. He need them to have so much publicity going in. So why not put the title or a title on of somebody that y'all know? That way y'all can tune in to whatever day we put this show on. But the question is, since they got Friday and Wednesday booked, where do it go? Do they put Ring of Honor on Mondays to compete with Raw?
Nah, I put it on Tuesday. Compete with NXT.
But I'm just honestly thinking Raw honestly does like a 1.9 whatever. If you can get a good program, would you put Ring of Honor on from 8 to 10?
On a Monday?
What if you can get like NBC? Or some shit like that.
Where I'm in everybody's
wrestling on CBS. You ain't never heard of that shit before. They'll do like 7.8.
I don't know. So
that's
reaching.
That's reaching.
That is.
I can honestly see them going on True TV, since like the partnership with them with the TNT. So they got TBS, TNT. It could be Spike TV is done for, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, it might have to go on True TV.
I don't know.
Might have to go on True TV. Anything else you want to add to this before we move on to the next segment?
Nah.
We have a Blackpool Combat Club backstage promo where they're hyping up their matches. Bryan Danielson going against Trent Beretta and Moxley going up against Wheeler Yuta. Next up, we had Shawn Spears versus Shawn Dean. Shawn Dean got the win when Wardlow came through, destroying the security and called Shawn Spears.
Before you finish, I know where Ring of Honor is going to debut on. I just got it. TNT sister channels is TBS. They just put Dynamite on there. We got Rampage on TNT, True TV, CNN, the CW, HBO, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Boomerang, and Climax and HLN. HLN is more like CNN, like shit like that. I'm thinking they're gonna put this show on free TV and they're gonna put it on the CW.
It's not bad.
But yeah, since all of those are the sister channels of TNT, I really believe they're gonna go in the free TV route and go and put it on the CW. CW on Mondays at 8 o'clock. Yeah. And made me tune in to CW. I don't tune in to CW for shit.
It's not bad, especially for Ring of Honor.
Yeah. A 2-hour show on the CW. Like, the CW ain't had a wrestling show since SmackDown. And that was like 2008, 2009. Right before they left. So, yeah. The return, just like TNT ain't had a wrestling show since WCW, and the return of wrestling on TNT brought in hype and shit too. The return of wrestling on the CW, hell yeah.
All right. What do you think about Shawn Spears versus Shawn Dean?
Shawn Spears versus Shawn Dean. It did what it needed to do. I don't really. I see that Shawn Spears is like, he happy that he's there at AEW, but he really ain't make no effect to me. Like, he's just there. If that kind of makes sense. Like, he don't do nothing. He's just there. He's with a stable. He was with with Cody, and then now he's with MJF. And then if MJF group ever debacle, he gonna pop with another one. It just seems like he's just there.
Sometimes it's better to be a good hand.
That's true, but I just say like, yeah, he's just there. That's just it. He's just there. He's on TV, but he don't do nothing for real. He's just there. It's like you dragged him, like you know how you could be on Google Maps and you could just drag the little yellow guy anywhere. That's him. He just get dragged. He's just there. Anyway.
Plug and play.
Yeah.
In basketball, those are sometimes the best guys. You can just plug them anywhere. They just know what to do. That's Sean Spears.
Sean Spears is that guy who's in basketball who's with a different team every year. Like when he finished his career, he's been with 19 different stables.
Hey, gotta get it how you live. Best friends backstage promo next. They're at Wheeler Yuta. He's leaving. That's all that can be said. Dang. Trent
I already exposed the ratings. I mean, not the ratings, but the results.
Hey, Trent Beretta thinks he's a scumbag. That's the match I can't wait for. Wheeler Yuta versus Trent Beretta. I bet you it's going to be for that Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Championship.
Do he win?
No. God, no. No, we don't take it off Wheeler Yuta.
Okay, so
he retains. I say the next person who should take it off Wheeler Yuta should be the person who's going to be working exclusively in Ring of Honor with it.
Okay.
Like, it's in AEW now getting its proper exposure. But when it comes off Wheeler Yuta, the exposure that it's gotten is going to, of course, add prestige to it. But then the next person who's going to have it is going to be strictly in Ring of Honor working with it.
Right.
Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz, Jericho Appreciation Society backstage brawl. They pretty much got their ass beat. It then led into the S-tier masterclass promo of Kingston, Santana Ortiz, where all you need to know is that it's on site.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much so on site that Eddie Kingston showed up to New Japan and fought Daniel Garcia in New Japan.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he wasn't playing. Eddie Kingston said it's on site. He said he knows where he lives.
Had long ass flight out there just to bang with somebody.
Listen, Eddie Kingston said he know where he live. He said it don't matter. You with your girl, it's on site. That's kind of huge. You know, we listen to rap music, and when somebody say that in rap music, that's like, yeah, you pretty much got to watch everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So when Eddie Kingston said it, I honestly believed it. But this is what I love about AEW though, because they kept the continuity going, because Jericho wasn't on commentary for Rampage. He got up through for real. He got up through. Next up, your girl, Jade Cargill, Mark Sterling interview promo segment next. She's money. She's getting better on the mic. This promo was S tier between her and Mark Sterling, from her telling Tony Schiavone to cut the shit, to showing off her baddies, to pretty much putting down Marina Shafir in her number 30. She's starting to reach global heights now. You know, she was on Vanessa Hudgens' Instagram story.
The girl from High School Musical, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I told you, man, she's a mega star. You didn't want to believe me. You thought she was 8. I'm telling you, she's top class. She top class. I like what one of our subscribers said. They put what was it? Dream J rules everything around me. Yeah. Yeah.
She'll never be that to me, but she is indeed that bitch. And I believe it every time she say it. So there's that.
That's why she's number 5 on the list. Hey guys, stay tuned to the list of the top 10 women wrestlers right now of 2022. You know, your guys has spoken. You guys won. You guys agree with me. She is number 5. So stay tuned to the list, because I'm pretty sure we got some shockers in there that y'all haven't even thought about. But go ahead and continue, KB.
We had an MJF Sean Spears backstage promo next, where MJF is challenging Sean Dean to a match next week. I feel like Sean Dean is going to beat MJF for the second time in 2022. I feel like Wardlow's going to cost MJF this match against Sean Dean, and it'll be Sean Dean will go down as one of the few people to have beaten MJF twice. It's going to be a huge moment for him. Next up, we had a Christian Cage Jurassic Express backstage interview. Next, Christian Cage stormed off. Jurassic Express challenges Red Dragon to the AEW or for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I like it when my baby faces throw out the challenge. I have a sneaky suspicion they're going to lose.
Yeah, because it's funny that they challenged them for their belt.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's very funny.
Yeah. How do you think they lose? Shenanigans or clean?
It's gonna be clean, but Jungle Boy taking the pin.
Is this how we get the Christian Cage heel turn?
Possibly. He probably aligned himself up with the with Red Dragon, Adam Cole. Probably be that mouthpiece, because you know he probably. It seemed like that's what he kind of dipping into, being like, you know, that on-screen person that helped get somebody over, but he had dabble in the ring every now and then. Like, what if he's that, like, turns into that person, like, they on-screen, like, booker for them, like, make sure they get booked into, like, the best matches, but it be on-screen, like, he'd be there, like, they muscle. Not really muscle, but it's like, alright, you got Red Dragon facing who? Nah, we ain't doing that, look. If you're not gonna put us, my clients or whoever up against the best of the best talent, then we not wrestling on the show, or we not attending shit like that. Like, make them like an on-screen role for the group. I'm trying to use an example, but I can't put my mind on it right now. But
Like a Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, exactly. Like he pulling in, like, all the success for the group happens because he making shit happen, making shit work in the back. Adam Cole become champion, but Adam Cole, he become the longest reigning champion as that. But he ain't really faced nobody good, and the reason why is because Christian is pulling these strings backstage to get him competition that he know Adam Cole could defeat and shit. So then when you first get his first real challenge, it'll be boom, and then you get to the split between Cole and the group, split between Christian Cage, because now it's like, you know, they ain't know, like, he was doing this up, but they ain't know that he was doing it. From there on there, it's basically like he didn't believe that, you know, he was getting them talent, like, basically talent is not on their level for a reason and shit like that, but they ain't like it. So, I don't know, some way like that.
I think if they tell it right, you could definitely do that. We had a Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose Battle of the Bells promo package. It then led into Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm backstage interview. Did not like neither one of these segments, and I don't like the push that Tony Storm is getting. I feel like she's been here for 2 weeks, and I feel like she's getting the mega push. Maybe it's just because I was never a big Tony Storm fan.
I don't know. I gotta see her a little bit more, because I only seen her a few times in NXT. You seen her on SmackDown like once. I don't know. I just gotta see her a little bit more, because as I started learning about her, she was off TV like that.
We have the Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match: Hikaru Shida versus Julia Hart. This was the best that Julia Hart has ever looked, and this match was still god awful.
Yeah, she was saying that she sent the Varsity Blondes back, and I kind of like, this is like AEW's version of the Hart Foundation or the Hart Dynasty. That's why I'm kind of getting this from. But her sending the Varsity Blondes to the back, this was her latest hit at her turn towards the dark side. I will say that. Especially with the black makeup peeking out of her eye patch, had hinted to it farther. of her association with the House of Black potentially. But it led to a Serena Deeb return. And she had to confront Hikaru Shida in an intense stare down. So I like that.
I just wish we could have. The match should have been shorter, but it in a way it looked good for Julia Hart, because I know a lot of people were saying like she didn't relatively look good. I thought she looked better than what she's ever looked. It sometimes the in-ring action, it won't show the confidence, but she was going into her spots knowing what to do, and she did it with confidence.
Right.
So I really appreciate that. The match, no, wasn't good, but I don't expect the match to be that good, especially when, if you really sit there and think about it, there's a huge gap between Hikaru Shida and Julia Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that gap, you can't cover for that.
Right.
But the little improvements, and I liked what I saw from Julia Hart. Shane Strickland, Team Taz, Keith Lee, backstage brawl. Keith Lee threw Powerhouse Hobbs through a wall, but then I saw that wall was nothing but a piece of paper and some glue.
Mm-hmm. This is trying to further him as being this big, strong guy. Same way WWE was using him, but I don't know. I still want to see more.
Yeah, I need to see more.
Like I said, keep Keith Lee against big, strong guys. Like after Keith Lee get done with Powerhouse Hobbs, I want to see Keith Lee and Lance Archer. Keep him facing big guys. Big guys, tall guys. Can't keep Keith Lee with that type of talent as of now.
I think I saw on Twitter where they're teasing Sammy Guevara versus Lance Archer. Loki want to see that.
That'd be good.
Loki want to see that. Main event. AAA Tag Team Championships, Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships are on the line. Did you see they have the Ring of Honor announcer in there?
Yes.
I like that touch. It was FTR defending against the Young Bucks. Salamander, remember when I told you that FTR versus the Briscoes match will probably be match of the year for tag teams unless they decided that they wanted to show out with the Bucks?
Yeah.
Well, they definitely showed out with the Bucks. Babyface FTR. This might be the greatest tag team. This might be the greatest tag team of this generation.
It might. I'll say for like not this generation, but maybe be the best tag team of AEW.
Nah, listen. I already told you the hill that I died on.
I'll say yeah, this generation, yeah. I was like, my generation, I'm saying the Hardys.
Oh, speaking of the Hardys, sorry, we did skip that. Tables match, Hardys, Butcher and the Blade, god awful.
Yeah, I would say as much as I love the Hardys, this shit was bad. You could kind of tell the hype for the Hardys is kind of dying down a little bit. But do you blame the Hardys or do you blame AEW?
I'm blaming Tony Khan because you did a tables match, but it was kind of confusing. And then it's like there wasn't an elimination style tables match where one guy goes to the back and then it was just too confusing.
Yeah.
We should have did something different.
Jim Ross saying this is a bowling shoe ugly table match.
Yes,
which is another word for saying this is horrible. That was
yeah, it was god awful. And I tried to it, and people might call me the AEW shield, but when it needs to be shit on, I will properly shit on it.
Yeah.
And I tried my best to look at the Hardy, especially this match. I tried my best to look at this match through rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
but they kept breaking the further the match went on.
That's true. But I will say the good it made up at the end, and I just kind of want to point out a couple good things that happened at the main event. I like that Mac Jackson. Yeah, the FTR favorite wrestler Bret Hart. I like that. That drew heat. The crowd, they erupted for Dex Harwood hot tag. I love
Randy Orton-esque hot tag.
Yeah. Hardwood faking out Mac during the exchange of rights and left. They're dropping him with a power driver. Great spot. Great spot. Nick Jackson interrupting the power plex by FTR and delivering a Hurricane Rana to Wheeler. Man, that was this is just a hard FTR Young Bucks 3 is gonna be a magical moment. But I just hope AEW holds off and don't give it to us right now, because if you wait for a little while longer and give it to us then, it will mean so much more.
This has to be the main event to a stadium show. I wouldn't revisit this unless I get a stadium show. If I get a stadium show, that's the main event.
Even FTR kissing Matt, that shit was funny too. It's like a mock on that shit. Like you gonna talk about my favorite wrestler, I'm gonna do this. That's funny too.
When the Bucks hit the BTE trigger and Cash Wheeler's leg fell on the ropes, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I think I bid for every near fall. Because that's just how invested they had me in the match.
Right. It was good, I'm not even gonna lie. But I'm giving this Dynamite. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
8.
The main event puts it right there.
All right, coming up, we got Friday Night SmackDown. Ronda Rousey, she challenged Charlotte Flair to an I Quit match at WrestleMania Backlash. Now, Flair, she responded by saying she didn't quit at WrestleMania and that the baddest woman on the planet is a myth. Then she has shot down the challenge, telling Ronda to get in the back of the line, and Ronda, she had vowed that the match would happen regardless. Now, I get that Ronda had to lose for this feud to further, but it do make sense when Charlotte do say, she didn't quit at Mania. You lost basically, and you need to get in the back of the line, because that is true. You did lose. You became the Royal Rumble winner. You challenged at Mania. You lost at Mania. Now you got to earn your way back up. That's how it should be. You wasn't even number one contender going in. So you just so happened to skip the line because you won the Rumble. Now that you lost, that should have been it. But it's WWE. They're gonna put whoever at the number one contender spot that they want. You could be losing. You could not win a match for like 3 months and then fuck around and be number one contender and shit.
Yeah, the promo was fine. She still don't look happy to be there, and I think that's my bigger problem. Like, this is a huge opportunity that people would give everything they would get the last dollar in their bank account to be where Ronda is. And she just walks out like she doesn't care. She doesn't want to be there. It's kind of just a spit in the face to everybody else who's putting in the work for 365.
Right.
So I don't like that, and the fact that she's getting another rematch, she should absolutely go to the back of the line. If you lose, first off, if you walk into WrestleMania as the number one contender and lose, yes, we can run it back at WrestleMania Backlash. But if you win the Royal Rumble and you lose your opportunity, guess what? Back of the line, because like you said, you weren't there to begin with.
Right. Following this, we got Xavier Woods. He would defeat Butch with a pinfall with a small package, aka the Backwoods. After this, Butch, he was livid after the loss, and he was throwing chops and punches at Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Oh man, I don't fucking know.
God fucking awful. So let me get this straight. So we're going to reward Ridge Holland by giving him a WrestleMania win. But the person who should have been winning, or the person who should have won tonight, because this is his first time in the ring, new guy, new character. No, we're just gonna have Xavier Woods beating with the Backwoods.
Yeah, I don't know. But right after this, we got some NXT call-ups. We got Gunther. He would defeat Joe Alonzo via pinfall with a power bomb, and I believe Joe Alonzo ain't he a local talent?
He was a jobber for AEW.
Okay, so yes, WWE had called up Gunther, and I don't even know how to pronounce that shit, but Marcel
Ludwig Kaiser.
That bullshit. They called him up. They left the other guy in NXT. I'm sick of these fucking call ups. I want them to go back to NXT call ups how the shit was in 2016, between 2016 and 2019, where if your name was fucking motherfucking Walter in NXT, you coming up to the main roster as Walter. Your gimmick was this way, you coming back up to the roster this way. I want them to go back to this. I hate this shit. What's the just like the next one? Raquel Gonzalez, the former NXT Women's Champion. And now she had made her SmackDown debut. Now she Raquel Rodriguez. Like Tuesday, we got paired up with Dakota Kai. She was Raquel Gonzalez. 3 days later, she Raquel Rodriguez. Then on top of that, you need fucking women's tag, more women's tags in your division. So why not call her and Dakota Kai up at the same time and debut into your women's tag division, make it more interesting? But no, let's go ahead and call her up as a single star, put her in this bullshit segment where motherfuckers try to kiss her. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. What the fuck? I don't know, man.
I know what they're doing. They're planning this for the return of Braun Strowman.
I don't know. What, people gonna be trying to kiss her all the time, and then he gonna come and beat their ass?
Yep.
Well, that sounds like some shit they'll do too. But following this, we got Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. They brawled during an episode of Happy Talk. Corbin, he told Moss that it was his fault that he lost at WrestleMania. And Corbin, he said Moss won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And he made the weekend all about him, which led into a brawl between the two. It was pretty known that they was building up towards this, that this was gonna happen, especially when Madcap Moss won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then you kind of knew that you going into the shit, you knew Drew McIntyre was gonna kick his head off, but you kind of knew leading up after Mania that sooner or later they was gonna break up. I didn't know they was gonna do it this damn soon, the same week or some shit. I thought they was gonna tell the story a little bit more of you seeing Happy Corbin trying to throw Madcap Moss or some shit, but Madcap Moss becoming wise about him, about his actions and shit, and not really falling for it. Then you can slowly tell the build up to there until the breakup. But I kind of think they did it too soon. That's really it for real.
I think they did it just right. Only thing I hate is how they explained it. Like, yes, Madcap Moss got on the apron, but it wasn't like you was about to finish him off anyway. Plus, you hit into days.
Right.
Bro was just better than you that night.
Right.
Like, if you were going to use that explanation, it should have been something along the lines of, like, he goes to hit the ropes. Madcap Moss is there, so he goes and finishes hitting the ropes, and he got hit with a Claymore.
All right. Following,
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, but he kicked out at the end of days. He was just better than you that night.
Yeah, he ended 2 streaks for him. Ever since he became Happy Corbin, he been on the winning streak, and ever since he debuted it, nobody ever kicked out the end of days. So Drew McIntyre ended 2 streaks that night.
There you go.
Following this, Sami Zayn, he told Adam Pearce that the next man that walk out the locker room, he would wrestle, because he wanted to rebuild his reputation after losing to Johnny Knoxville. Well, he didn't expect that man to be Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre, he came out. Sami Zayn, he ran out the ring through the crowd, and he took a count out loss. I would too,
but What a way to reward Sami Zayn for doing the best work of his career in a bullshit ass feud with Johnny Knoxville.
But it's gonna lead to something. He gonna fuck around and get like the title back or some shit. Watch. It's gonna lead into something. Cause who else would you put up against Johnny Knoxville? Nobody. Sami Zayn is the best fit for that shit.
Yeah, but do we really want to see Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion again?
I don't know. I think it's time for another gimmick change for him, though.
A gimmick change?
I think so.
Bro, we just signed Sami Zayn to a big money deal. What do you need a gimmick change for?
I don't know. I don't know. What is his gimmick?
He's Sami Zayn.
Is that a gimmick?
I think that's his gimmick. He's just Sami Zayn. What you want him to do? What do you want him to do, Salamander? Throw the mask back on and become El Generico?
Nah, I don't know. I just think it's time for something different. If you think about it, we had the same character since, like Kevin Owens. He had to switch it up a few times. And that shit was getting stole. It was getting stale. We had the same shit since 2016. Sometimes you just got to switch it up.
He ain't touched gold since 2016 either.
Yeah, but following this, we got a pre-tape interview with Lacey Evans. This basically explained her rough upbringing, and it appears that she'll be babyface when she returns. I ain't really care for it.
How you gonna turn Lacey Evans babyface, or how you gonna turn Lacey Evans face when she was pregnant by Ric Flair?
Everybody know when you come back from maternity leave, you face. Becky was fake until she did what she did to Bianca. She turned face and heel in the same fucking night within 10 seconds. That's sweet as fuck. She came out to the ring, cheers, everybody happy. Shook her hand, 1, 2, 3, boo! She turned heel and face at the same time. I mean, she turned face then heel. Same night, under 10 seconds.
I mean, more like 26 seconds.
Oh, if you count the entrance, yeah.
But
I was counted from when she walked in the ring to when the match to which the conversation, the match started.
But that's Ric Flair's baby.
But Ric Flair, he's WWE not talking about Ric Flair right now, so all that shit that happened before in WWE terms, we supposed to forget.
But that's Ric Flair's baby. I can't forget that Charlotte.
Now you seeing what I mean. Like, it's not my fault that when they say certain things on TV, then like 6 years later they say something else and we supposed to forget. Then I'm breaking kayfabe. See, you can't help that they put this on TV for us and they just expect for us to forget. You can't help it.
I don't like this. I don't like Lacey Evans being a face. She don't work, bro. She's Charlotte 2.0. If anything, Charlotte and her need to become a tag team and just start running the tag team division.
That's what I think.
Until we can find, you know what?
For Charlotte to do, because you don't want her to. She gonna fuck around and be a 20-time women's champion by the time she hang him up. But what else to do? You put her in the tag division or create a secondary women's title for real.
Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler at next year's WrestleMania for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Let it main event night 1.
Lacey Evans will have to get better in the ring.
I think she's good now.
I don't know. I ain't never really was a fan.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Ronda.
Alright, yeah. But following this, right before I get into the main event, I do want to mention that it was a promo. I did forget the promo from the Tribal Chief. It was a promo, and basically Shinsuke came out, and Roman was basically telling them like, I'm sorry, I understand that you feel sad, you lost your partner and everything. Give me a hug. Shinsuke was so confused. Gave him a hug. He backed up. Got super kicked by the Usos. What a way to go out. I think, even though they said it's reports, I do think they setting up Shinsuke to be Roman's next challenger. But there is reports saying that why is he the next one? He ain't been relevant. Like, making us really believe that he can come with the win since he challenged AJ for it. So I kind of agree with that too, but it's also kind of good to see Shinsuke in a bigger spotlight as well.
I mean, we didn't believe Cesaro could give Roman Reigns a run for his money at last year's WrestleMania Backlash either. Look how that turned out.
True. Is that gonna be a traditional thing? WrestleMania Backlash, Roman face the underdogs, basically.
I would. Those typically go on to be one of his better defenses of the year too.
The next year at WrestleMania Backlash next year, he facing
Ricochet. he facing Ricochet.
The main event, we got Liv Morgan. She would defeat Sasha Banks via pinfall, but she had countered a superplex into a pin. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they challenged Sasha Banks and Naomi for the women's tag team titles on Monday, as we said. Now, WWE has certainly done plenty of work to get the Usos versus RK Bro, with the teams meeting for multiple times on Raw. So they did what they needed to do. I kind of like how they given the idea of unifying the tag team titles. At this point, just put every fucking title on the Bloodline for real. But I do like that stuff too. Like certain titles, I do think they need to unify it. If they're gonna do it with one belt in the WWE, so it's gonna be one belt. That's Roman. They need to unify the tag belts. That's fine. They need to add a woman to the Bloodline so she can unify the women's titles. And
Naomi.
Exactly. And then that's really it for real. But I do like this. I do like that they are doing the program with Nakamura, even though I feel like the program gonna be a short program, probably after WrestleMania Backlash, it's gonna be done and over with. But there's much worse ways that you could do to fuck this shit up. But so far, what they did, it was good. It did what it needed to do. This is a good, show. I expected kind of more debuts and shit since this was the SmackDown after Mania. It was cool. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
SmackDown, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 with you. It did its job. Great main event. Great. Well, I didn't like the ending, but it was still a great main event. Great main event segment with Roman and the Usos. There really wasn't that many bad things outside of just was remotely just horrible, like Butch losing, Raquel's name change, and Marcel Bartel's name change. But outside of that, it was still a relatively good show for the most part. Before we get on,
I was about to say, my question is there really a point to review Rampage? Since for one, I already basically said everything that's gonna happen like a couple days ago, and then two, it's Rampage.
First off, Rampage was excellent. But before we jump into Rampage, I think that WWE is sitting on a WrestleMania Night 1 main event that's even bigger than Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
It's a women's match.
Yes, it is.
Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. You say they're sitting on one?
Yep, and they don't even know that they're sitting on it.
I would say Ronda and Shayna for real.
Oh, well, okay, that too, but no.
Shayna, is it Shayna? Is she involved?
Nope.
Naomi involved?
Yes.
Naomi and Bianca.
Heel Naomi versus babyface Bianca Belair. That could be Sasha Bianca Part 2. I think it'd be better.
Well, we get heel Naomi versus babyface Charlotte. Like, it just be a double turn. Well, Charlotte
not bad either.
Going into the program, since she aligned herself up with the bloodline, Naomi's already healed. But since she aligned herself up, make her intentions known that she going for the title, Charlotte just automatically turned babyface. But yeah,
I feel like Naomi and Bianca Belair, that's a money match. That's a WrestleMania match. I don't want to see it anywhere else but Mania.
All right.
We're going to breeze through Rampage though, because the only thing that's worth talking about here is the main event.
Really, yeah, really that would be the only thing we can really talk about.
Trent Beretta versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson got the win. Danhausen, Hook promo next. Danhausen tried to curse Hook, but it doesn't work. Men of the Year, Sammy Guevara, Tay Conti promo. I guess Sammy Guevara wants a rematch for the TNT Championship. They're probably going to do it at Battle of the Belts. QT Marshall versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland got the win. Post-match, Ricky Starks issued the tag match. I know Salamander said that the first time Swerve took the loss, he said he didn't want to see it then, so I know he don't want to see it now. We had a video package on Marina Shafir. We then had the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament qualifying match, Willow Nightingale versus Red Velvet. Red Velvet got the win. You know I'm really huge on Willow, and I said Tony Khan should have took a chance. He should have took a chance again.
Let her win.
Because she's and let her win because she's getting over.
Yeah.
She's getting over. You're either going to let her walk to WWE or you're going to sign her.
I think it's the name. It's just sweet.
She's good in the ring.
Yeah, she is, but her name is also dope. Willow Nightingale. That's dope.
Yeah. Tony Nese, Mark Sterling backstage segment next. Mark Sterling trying to grow his brand. Main event, Jon Moxley versus the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion Wheeler Yuta. Jon Moxley got the win. Wheeler Yuta took him to his limit. Bloody mess. Did you see the callback to the Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin match?
Yes, the match was fucking good. Like, even though I it's like say the ratings, not the ratings, but the results already. I went back and still watched it when it came on, and it was still good. It was good, but you know, it was too much blood. Like, I hate when it's a lot of blood, cause then it get unrealistic to me. Like, I like if it's gonna be blood, make it be like a little blood, little stuff on your forehead, maybe your nose bleeding, your mouth bleeding. But when it get all that, like, you seen his fingerprints through his chest when he rubbed his fingers and shit. So it was like, that was too much. You can kind of tell it's either use a blood capsule or I don't know, but it was too much.
When I know when you put out the spoilers, I kind of told myself I'm probably not gonna watch it for real. But then I saw Jericho on Twitter post something like Moxley versus Yuta, and he put like some emojis behind it signifying that it was good. I said, let me tune in.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely worth watching, and just that lasting image of him finally being accepted and Moxley telling him the real work starts now. That is the absolute truth.
All right.
You got into the club, bravo. Not everybody can get in, but now you have to keep it up. You now have to put yourself on a Danielson and on a Moxley level. And I think that's going to be kind of hard for Wheeler Yuta. And I see in the very beginning, we're going to see a lot of growing pains.
Right.
So I think this has all the makings to be one of the best stories that's not the main event story.
All right. Rampage, what you giving it?
I'm going to give it an 8. The Wheeler Yuta. It took Tony Khan 3 weeks to get him there.
Yeah,
but
he has been booked consistent. I will say, last couple weeks he's been on every show. If he ain't on Dynamite this week, he's on Rampage, or he might fuck around being on both and shit. So,
well, you got to think. Remember, this is long-term booking, because remember before Moxley went away, he had that one match against Wheeler Yuta, and he squashed Wheeler Yuta. It wasn't even close. So then Moxley came back and had another match against Wheeler Yuta, and that kind of was closer. Then the Blackpool Combat Club was formed, and he was going back and forth to now he had this match with Moxley. 3 times he's had matches with Moxley, and you've seen constant improvement. Mm-hmm. Only thing I can say that I didn't like is I don't like that he kicked out of 2 paradigm shifts.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have kicked out of only 1. But that's just me if I had to point something out.
I'm gonna give Rampage a 7. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the news. Now, the first story of the day, we got the real reason why Gunther lost weight. Dave Meltzer, he talked about Gunther's main roster debut on SmackDown and noting that WWE had asked him to lose weight because Vince McMahon, he wants slim wrestlers on television. Meltzer noted that the original plan was for Gunther to be a single star on the main roster, but it looks like that those plans had changed. Well, let's just say that's the reason why Keith Lee left.
I never once looked at Walter and said he's a fat guy.
Yeah,
I never
like fucking 6 foot, maybe 280-pound man that can fucking give your fucking ass a drop kick, bust out drop kicks and shit like that. That's impressive. That's why I looked at it. I mean, shit. But we know them days of us having big shows and Mark Henry's and shit is done for.
I just don't understand what Vince McMahon wanted. Walter was everything. You wanted a foreign heel. Walter could be that guy. He didn't have to look the part. I don't want to see. You know why Roman Reigns works? Because he doesn't look like anybody else. He doesn't act like anybody else.
Yeah.
I want to see different varieties of body types. I'm not asking you to be I'm not asking you to be out of shape. I'm not asking you to be completely in shape, but I do want to see a different variety. I never looked at Walter and said Walter was fat.
I say the main roster Imperium should become the new version of the League of Nations. If you're not from America, you could be accepted into the group.
I would.
You know.
I would. I just hate that you're gonna really throw Gunther into a tag team with Ludwig Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
And
you already had this fucking tag. You had the established tag. You had the established single star. I don't fuck. It's totally none of this shit makes sense anymore. None of it. Moving on to the next story, we got Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. That match at WrestleMania Backlash has been officially announced. At WWE, they confirmed that Charlotte Flair would defend the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey in the I Quit match at WrestleMania Backlash on May 8th. No other matches has been confirmed for WrestleMania Backlash, but as of this writing, recording, or wherever you want to put it as, top stars such as Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, and the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns are advertised to appear on the show. I'm thinking they're gonna run Becky Lynch and Bianca Part 2. They're gonna put Roman and Shinsuke, and I don't think Brock is gonna appear, or he probably gonna appear after the match with Roman and to challenge him one more time, and it's gonna be a one-off to be all, some shit like that for SummerSlam. Some shit, I don't know.
I didn't care about Charlotte and Ronda for WrestleMania, and I really don't care for it now.
Right.
I mean, if I didn't care
for real. Like, all they gonna do is get a belt to her, to Ronda, that's it.
Yeah, like if I don't care if I didn't care for a singles match, what makes you think I'm gonna want to care for an I Quit match?
Right.
The only two women who should be doing an I Quit match at this moment should be Becky. I'm not Becky. Well, if you want to do Becky and Bianca I Quit, I'll go for that too. But Bianca and Bayley, because they got unfinished business.
All right. Moving on to the last story. A top NXT star will be a manager on the main roster.
Yeah.
There's more talk of NXT stars being caught up on the main roster, including LA Knight. Fightful Selects reported that WWE are discussing bringing up LA Knight on Raw or SmackDown, with the pitch being made for Knight to be a manager, since he is known to be one of the best talkers in NXT. I don't like that. It's cool, but I hate when they bring a wrestler on that's basically has great talent. You know they can go in the ring, you know they can go, but they want to like basically hold them still by having them be a manager, like how they was gonna do with Adam Cole. Like, you know what I mean? Years of Adam Cole we could potentially miss on just because they want to bring him in as a manager. I don't know.
And cutting bald.
I don't like.
They wanted to cut that man's hair off. He wouldn't even look like Adam Cole
At all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like this either. LA Knight, you know me, I'm very big on I'm very big on LA Knight. And he has all the makings to really be a top mid-card heel or babyface, or even if you wanted to put him in the lower main event.
Right.
I can definitely see him in the same position as a Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Miz has always been low, that bottom tier main event,
That's
right? Upper mid card, yeah, upper mid card, yeah, upper mid card.
Maybe seen the main event once or twice. Yeah.
Hell, let him win Money in the Bank, and that's how he wins. That's how he wins a world title.
I'd say the most he'll be like a 3-time world champ at most.
Yeah, this is a bad decision, and I hope that he stands up for himself and says, I don't want to do that. I know what I can do in the ring. Just because he's near, and the crazy thing is, I understand he's near 40, but AJ Styles is in his 40s. Edge is in his 40s.
Still going.
Damian Priest is about to be in his 40s.
Still going.
Like, you know, if we gotta keep it fair all the way through. Now, don't get me wrong. If you think LA Knight is better as a manager, that's fine. Just pair him with somebody that makes sense and push that.
Mahal. That don't make sense.
Yeah, like pair him with somebody that makes sense, and then push that person, make that person feel important. Because to me, LA Knight is important. If LA Knight's talking, I'm listening.
They're gonna bring LA Knight on Raw and make him be Elias, aka Ezekiel's little cousin, or some shit. It sounds like some shit they'll do. They kind of favor each other.
I just much rather them just keep him in NXT.
That too. That could be an option. I don't know.
Keep him in NXT. Let him win the NXT championship. Let him go on a run for about a year. There are worse people there are worse options than LA Knight.
That is true. But that's it for week 14, guys. Let us know what you think about this week of wrestling in the comment section below. Go ahead and check out some more videos from the crew. Be tuned to this week. We will be dropping out the top 10 women wrestlers of 2022 right now. And follow us on wherever you get your podcast from. Follow us on Twitter. All that shit. We active on Twitter, so if you want to reach out to us or get a response from us, that's where you could get it at. But I'm Camilio Salamander, KB the Mark. And simply, we some fucking marks that love sports entertainment.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.